Really interesting new analysis from the Washington Post. Let's put this up there on the screen. It's called the Billionaire Boom. So Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, and 6 other billionaires made more than $360 billion during the pandemic. So the wealth of the country's top 9 titans, $360 billion. They are all within the tech industry, which I think is something which is, if you think about our history in terms of where wealth is accumulated and more, it really is pretty crazy. Obviously, Elon Musk's wealth is concentrated in Tesla, but Jeff Bezos represents Amazon. Mark Zuckerberg's wealth has topped $100 billion from Facebook, and Google co-founders Larry Page and Sergey Brin gained a combined $65 billion. In many ways, this pandemic was a boon to those tech companies, and their founders and governors were making hundreds of billions of dollars. And something that they point to within this is about the myth of the benevolent billionaire, which is that, yes, it is great that like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett give away portions of their wealth while they're alive and have signed like their giving pledge, but it's simply like not that much money relative to the gains that they're making. But second, it's like it belies the way that the public is supposed to decide how money is used. So like if Bill Gates, for example, wants to transcend the political process and use his money to do some like cockamamie scheme in order to try and like release sulfur or whatever into the atmosphere, he can actually do that, which is kind of crazy. You're like, maybe we should vote on it. I don't know.
A real thing he's contemplating. By the way, Saagar didn't just make that up. That's a real thing.
I would that's real. I would rather have the Congress, as inept, stupid, and all of that as it is, decide on matters of public questions.
Yeah.
Because at least there's some level of public input than people who are so wealthy. They're wealthier by orders of magnitude that we can't even comprehend, that their sovereign state, like the concept of sovereign individual actually applies to them. And that's just something like we can't grapple with that. And frankly, like I don't really think it's good for society.
I do not think it's good for society. I'm of the view that every billionaire is a policy failure. But also just to give you a sense of how large this gain in wealth just from these 9 billionaires is, it rivals the amount that's being sent out. The government just sent out $1,400 checks to millions, tens of millions of Americans. That cost $410 billion.
Yeah.
They made in 1 year $360 billion. Just like wrap your head around that. So enough money almost to send out checks to the same tens of millions of Americans.
200 million.
Right. And think about that with Jeff Bezos. Perfect example. We cover Amazon here a lot. What did he do with his money this year? What did he do to help his workers? Nothing. In fact, he screwed them over. We've done reporting here, and we've covered the reports that have come out about how allegedly they violated COVID safety protocols. Why? Because would it cost money to space workers now? Would it cost money to have a proper testing regime? Would it cost money to have to shut down and clean the facilities when someone tested positive? So they didn't do that. Did they give their workers big pay raises? No. Are they down in Alabama right now doing everything they damn well can to keep those workers from unionizing? 100%.
The traffic lights thing was crazy. For people who know.
The traffic lights thing, they actually lobbied the town to change a traffic light so that workers wouldn't be stopped at a light where union organizers can come and talk to them about joining a union. That's the level of power and control that this company actually has. And like you say, and this is Anand Giridharadas wrote the book on this exact problem, which is that great that you're benevolent, great that you're giving your money away. People shouldn't be dependent on the good grace and benevolence of an enlightened billionaire to have the basics of life. And so it's never been more stark in this year when you have millions of people who have just been totally screwed and are gonna be screwed for a long time, lost their jobs, lost their tips, lost hours, closed their businesses, all of those things, facing eviction. So many fewer workers in the workforce now than when the pandemic began. And meanwhile, these people are amassing levels of wealth that you just literally cannot wrap your head around.
Yeah, you can't. And it's just something where, again, you need to look. And also, look, even if you're pro all of this, you have to understand the societal dislocation and anger that this is going to breed. It's not going anywhere. And you can just see rising levels of dissatisfaction with wealth inequality and more. So if you want to do something about it and preserve the system, now would probably be a good time.
Yeah, well, and the place to start would be, hey, Elizabeth Warren's talked about a wealth tax, Bernie Sanders, others, very popular, by the way, bipartisan basis, very popular. How about we start there with some government policy? Because that's where this really comes from, is the past 40 years, the way we've cut taxes, the way we've deregulated, the way we allow corporations to get away with paying literal zero in taxes, something that was furthered by the Trump administration. Start rolling that back, and you'll start getting these things under control.
And there are a lot of different things, that you can do. That you don't even have to do a wealth tax. You could even go just after Bernie's even talked about the financial transaction taxes alone. You have
Let's do
there's
both.
the amount of money sloshing through our financial system could fund everybody here for like 10 lifetimes.